Welcome back to the TGIF Marathon on the Soul Society Network. Kicking it off tonight with a new episode of The Volatile Couple.
Ah, yes, this seems like a good spot. Okay, Urahara, let's start digging here.
Mayuri, this is a cemetery.
Yes, and what is your point?
You said we were going grocery shopping.
Oh, I did? Huh. I could have sworn I said let's go defile a graveyard and then raise an army of the undead.
Huh? Oh, right, yeah, you did. I'm sorry, a little bit forgetful. That's why I brought my grave robbing shovel with me. But I have to say, I have some serious issues with this.
Bah! Would you just go with the flow with me for once on this?
Hey, listen, I got nothing against defiling a graveyard and then bringing back a bunch of corpses. All I'm saying is maybe we should have consulted the family members of these bodies first before, we make their loved ones go off and fight a battle. Maybe throw off a consent form or two.
Consent forms. I don't even know what that word means, but it sounds funny. Anyway, listen, this is happening, so you might as well just live with it.
I don't even know why I bother anymore. Yeah, okay, fine, let's just light this candle.
Haha, yes! Now rise, my zombie army, and do my bidding as your master, Mayuri Kurotsuchi! Oh wow, these zombies do not seem as intimidating as I, initially planned.
Brains?
Yeah, they seem rather, small and, more chibi in appearance. Huh, well, I think the better question is, why are some of them horribly stereotyped? What the fuck are we supposed to do with these things, Mayuri? Seriously, and why'd that one have a balloon on its back? It doesn't even make any sense. Was it, like, buried with the balloon? Did the balloon come back to life with it? I think this whole thing's a wash, honestly. I really don't think these things are going to be any useful in defeating the Quincy's.
Ah, good news, Hashwolf! I've completed my meditation garden. It's going to be so relaxing just chilling out in here with my plants all day.
Wow, Your Majesty, that's great.
I love you, Hashwolf. I love you too, Yuha.
Aww.
Everybody. Is it Thursday again already? Wait, no, Friday. Huh. I haven't slept in a while, so, a little bit antsy. Just trying to still figure out the whole Pernida Parncha Sturminer Sea Hen mystery thing. It's kind of consumed me a little bit, actually. Nightmares, whatever. Okay. I think I'm mellow now. Yeah, smoking does a great job of just leveling out the nerves, Get it? Nerve, because, it's Pernida. It's just, I don't smoke. Okay, anyway, this will be chapter number 638 review, titled, Boiling Madness is the Height of Comedy. Sounds like something the Joker would probably live by. I think I'm going to call Mark Hamill, see what he thinks. Alright, so chapter continues where we have Mayuri staring down Pernida, and a little bit of an inconsistency here. I don't know, maybe not an inconsistency, but at the end of the last chapter, it was shown that Pernida, was emitting all those nerves from its body, with the intention of just swarming directly toward Mayuri, and Mayuri's like, ah, yes, come on, left arm of the Soul King. But now, all that tension just got removed, and now Mayuri's just standing there with his ears, he's like, oh, come on now, speak up, because you're mumbling, so I don't know, just to redirect the attention a little bit there. Anyway, Mayuri states for it to speak up because it can't really understand its gibberish, to which Pernida responds with basically more gibberish. Left arm, name wrong, name Pernida Parncha. I didn't even intend for that to rhyme, but okay. Oh, wow, now that's a mouthful. Hey, calm down, Mayuri. You could be facing off an opponent that has a really long and more complicated name to pronounce than that. Like Sternritter Yu, Najakoop, or Arinyero Arueri, or even Marecchio Yo... Oh, fuck, no. I'm not even gonna attempt that. Anyway, though, Mayuri's line of reasoning is that because he's the mad scientist that discovered the left arm of the Soul King, he's allowed to name it whatever he so chooses. However, since the left arm is the one making the request to be named Pernida, he will make an exception just this one time and let it keep the name. However, that said, the spelling will now be for me to decide, and your name is Pernida. It's Pernida, 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 Pernida. Shut up! Anyway, though, the left arm doesn't really seem to be understanding what Mayuri states. It just kind of continues on to grumble that it believes that it's an enemy and they're saying bad words about Quincy's. Oh, no, no, no. Are you saying bad words about Quincy's? You know, my dad told me that cursing is wrong, and I'm going to tell the teacher on you. This is unforgivable! So the arm attacks by sending a shit ton of its nerves on the... So the nerve attacks, but it looks like separating off its nerves like projectiles, like they're actually leaving the body like bullets, coming in contact with the ground and then spreading all over the stone surface, which allows the ground to rise up and act like a hand itself. Basically, it's using its nerves to control inanimate objects. Mayuri is pretty fascinated by this and just more gleeful that he has something else to figure out how the hell it does that. To which we get the title page, and okay, well, I wasn't before, but, I am now. Okay. So, two things. Number one, I apologize for saying this last review. Okay then, well, I've just come to a stunning realization. That face is gonna be the last face I see before I die. And the second thing is that, okay, hold on, let me just, you know what, it's cool, it's fine, just change the background, just, there, okay. That's a lot better, let's be honest, you know, we're not getting that image out of our minds anytime soon, so, let's just continue this review and descending into madness. Right, so the part of the ground that Pernida is manipulating slams directly in front of Mayuri, which allows it to collapse, and he begins to fall. However, Mayuri has a plan out of this. His rocket-powered fist. I missed that thing. That was the thing. That was a callback to the Soul Society arc right there, back when he encountered Uryu and Orihime, and Orihime begins to run away, and Mayuri's like, did I give you permission to run? And he just, you know, throws his freaking arms. So that's pretty cool that, you know, Kubo remembered that he could do that. I also want to see the neat scythe blade thing he can pull out of his ear. I mean, that seems like something that would be immensely useful to, you know, just any combative situation, really, in case, you know, you lose your sword, you have a scythe blade, but whatever, maybe we'll see that later, I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, he gets knocked off the side of the building. However, Pernida just takes over the side of the building, creates another stone hand that begins to attack him. And at the same time, it also took control of another building's hand, so therefore it just basically smushes Mayuri like a bug. I don't know, whichever bug, not a fly, because we know those are mostly impossible to kill, but some other kind of easily killable bug. Uh-oh, how's Mayuri gonna get out of this one, guy? By exploding! Okay, why not? It's nice to know you, Mayuri. You were a good man. Good, crazy, demented sadist of a man. No, it actually turns out that Mayuri planned this all along, because the armor he was wearing was designed to explode the second it exceeded a certain amount of damage, I guess? So, like, what? What kind of benefit would that serve? I mean, making exploding armor, do I need to explain how that's kind of antithetical to the whole point of armor? I mean, and no, actually, let's pause for a second here. Did that light armor he was wearing serve, like, any purpose? Like, let's seriously think back to this. Like, he made that armor to begin with, so he figured that, you know, the Quincy's can manipulate shadow, so I'll counter that with light. But, you know, did it ever really make any difference in battle? I mean, he used it on Giselle, but it only just kind of mildly irritated her. It's not like it, you know, like, oh, it nullified my shadow powers or anything like that. You know, honestly, I think the only reason that it was given that Mayuri was wearing it was because it made it so much simpler to draw on Kubo's part. I mean, let's be honest here. If Kubo had to keep going around drawing Mayuri's original appearance in this arc, you know, with the kind of big headdress on his back, I think it would just kind of get annoying. It's the same reason with Renji. You know how Renji has those really intricate tattoos on his forehead, well, all over his body, but it's most noticeable on his forehead. And then, you know, after a while, Kubo just started drawing him with a headband on, and so he doesn't have to draw the intricate tattoos anymore. It's that kind of shit. Honestly, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, what purpose did the light armor serve? Especially since if it gets damaged, it explodes. I mean, Mayuri doesn't seem to be damaged by it, but how do you make exploding armor and not yourself get hurt by the explosion? Whatever, I don't know. Anyway, despite the hands being destroyed, Mayuri still dealt with a little bit of a snafu here, considering he's falling to the ground, which is littered with Pernida's nerves. However, he has another way out of this as well, activating his jet-powered boots. Mayuri Kuratsuchi has jet-powered boots! Oh my god! This is awesome! This is so cool! I mean, I kind of wish he would have employed this earlier, because this is just hammering in more in the fact that he's gonna die in the next couple of chapters, that he's just shown off all this cool shit that he has, like Iron Man crap, but, you know, whatever. He's got jet boosters in his sneakers. Okay, well, it turns out they're not actually jet boosters. Basically, he's utilizing the Quincy technique of Hirankyaku, the flying screen step, and I guess he learned this from his battle with Uryu, and he even mentions both Soken and Ryuken Ishida by name, stating that was the original name that they called for it, Hirankyaku. However, you Quincy's might have a different name for it. This is going back to the whole idea that Soken's way of learning about Quincy techniques that he passed on to Ryuken and Uryu are like a different kind, or like an outdated source or archaic techniques compared to the Vanenreicher, compared to Yuha's like true Quincy method. For example, the Let's Steal, activate your power, one and done, your powers get drained. That was a precursor to the power of the Voltstandig, which is like a more refined version. Kind of interested in the fact that Mayuri knows about Ryuken, because this is the first time that I don't think Ryuken was ever mentioned to Mayuri at all, but I mean, he was, surveying Uryu for God knows how long, so he probably picked up a couple of things. And also, this has to bring another interesting factoid in terms of the ability to fly, because it should be noted, and I've said this before, and there's a lot of confusion on this, and I think even Kubo doesn't understand how this fucking works. While they're in the Seirete, Shinigami are not supposed to float in the air. They're not supposed to be able to fly. It's just not happening. This is a good example of this right now, how Mayuri's just using Hirankyaku, and he's stating that, oh, this is your Quincy's technique, the ability to float in the air. This is not something I can normally do as a Shinigami while I'm in the Seirete. When they're in the living world, yes, they can, but not in the Seirete. And people call me out on this shit. They start saying, well, what about that time that Kenpachi was fighting against Gremmy? It looked like he was floating in the air. Yeah, well, Kubo fucked up. I don't know what to tell you. They're not supposed to be standing in the air, okay? And just right here in this panel, that Mayuri has to develop a special technique in order for him to allow to do it. That is something that is Quincy-based only. So, Kubo, if you ever did show a Shinigami floating in the air in the Seirete, then you fucked up your own setup there. I don't know what else to tell you. Okay. Well, whatever. While he's gloating about his rocket-powered shoes, he also activates a technique he employed. I guess he wrapped like a screaming person ring bomb around Pernida's pinky finger. Okay. And then he triggers the bomb to explode, which blows off its pinky, lands on the ground in front of Mayuri, to which he splashes some liquid on it. I guess some kind of preserving liquid to make sure it doesn't rot or decompose while Pernida's like screaming its freaking head off. And anyway, I guess Mayuri's all high and mighty now, because he's just like, oh, I've taken a sample from you, and I've, poisoned you. Not poisoned you, but I've preserved you with this fluid. You can't do anything to me. Well, then it turns out that the pinky finger has an eye as well, and then the nerves shoot out of it, and this one actually does manage to latch onto Mayuri's arm, going all the way up to his pinky, breaking his finger. Oh, shit! Okay, hold on a second, I can fix this. Just gotta move this here, shove this here, stitch that up, take that out, put that back in, and there we go. Problem solved. So what Mayuri did in the light speed, he basically realized, oh shit, the nerves are in my body. He, I guess, takes his other hand, pulls out like a sewing needle, and just does some quick makeshift light speed surgery on his hand, and completely reconfigures his bones, his muscles, his blood vessels, and his nerves all in the same right arm. So now that Pernida can't manipulate his nerves anymore, and he did this. I mean, he's sweating, so clearly he exerted some effort there to do it. But the fact that he was able to do that in a matter of seconds. You know what, actually, I just realized I got a good pairing for Mayuri. You'd think it was impossible to have anybody that could, be compared to Mayuri in terms of, a romantic relationship, but I think I just found out the perfect person. Frank and Fran. Yeah, I think these two would go good together. If you haven't read Frank and Fran, go check it out. Basically, imagine if Mayuri had his own series where he was the main character and he was a teenage girl. That's pretty much exactly what you get. But anyway, so he states to Pernida, oh, did you really think you'd be able to manipulate my body so easily? Blah, blah, blah. You can't do it. and then we see the arm just kind of staring at him while the pinky finger is rising up and staring at him also, and that's how the chapter ends. So, you know, not really much to really continue off of. It just shows that this is, I guess, if anything else, this chapter shows that Mayuri is now seriously getting in a battle. You know, this isn't going to be one of those situations where he can just, you know, toss out, like, this is my new invention, it took me 2 minutes to create, and now you will be dominated by this. You know, this isn't going to be one of those situations. This is going to be a situation kind of like in his battle with Uryu, where he's actually going to have to, you know, roll up his sleeves and actually try to fight, and it probably isn't going to end well for him. I mean, we still have to see using Bonkai and shit like that, and we're probably going to get a kick-ass battle, which I think that's probably the next thing he's going to jump to, because he probably showed off all of his tricks. I mean, his armor's destroyed, he did the umbrella thing last chapter, he already showed off, you know, I can, you know, just change out my nerves and shit like that with some difficulty, and his exploding shit. So I think next chapter he's probably just going to jump to Bonkai to try to subdue Pernida. And at some point, we're probably going to have, like, oh, well, I'm just going to, you know, I can't take you in anymore. I'm just going to have to destroy you or something like that. And then Pernida's going to do some shit, probably going to end up killing him. And I'm getting myself mentally prepared for this. It might not happen, but it probably will happen. So there's that. Also, my discussion video on what Pernida actually is, I was waiting to see what would happen in this chapter, see if we would get any additional information. We honestly didn't, aside from the fact that you can cut it up and it can still be sentient and it can still move around. But I'm still going to try to make the video. I might wait till next week to see if we get any more information on it. If not, we'll see. Okay, well, anyway, that's the review, guys. Thanks for watching. Tekking101 signing out. Next couple chapters, it's going to happen. He's going to die. Until then, the glory of Mayuri Kurotsuchi, ladies and gentlemen. I love you. You're so